Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast presented by Manly Band's Josh All. I got Kenny Mack up here on stage with me to kick off another Dog Pack Discord show. We're going to preview the Packers and the Browns game coming up Sunday, a matchup of two stellar defenses, one decent offense, and one absolute craptastic offense. So you guys can figure out which one is which. We'll dive into everything. If you guys want to get up here on stage, you want to ask questions, you want to talk about the game, last week's game, anything with the Browns, whatever you want, just get your hands up down in the audience, and we'll bring you up here as the show goes along. We did start this thing, just for anybody tuning in live here, a little bit early today. I told everybody in the Discord this morning, be on the heads up. Timing could be off this week from that 3 o'clock mark. My wife got called in for a last minute on-call shift this afternoon at the hospital. So I'm on daddy duty. He's napping right now. So we're doing the show. We're going to try to get this thing done before I got to go change a dirty diaper. So if you guys want to be part of these Dog Pack Discord episodes, make sure you go to jointhedogs.com, join the Dog Pack, or sign up, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page. Sync up with the private Discord. You can play fantasy football with us next year. Obviously, this year is already underway, but you get access to everybody, us, all the Dog Pack community 24/7, especially on game days. It's where you want to be. It's a 24/7, all week long therapy session, which we need, and we appreciate everybody who is in the Dog Pack. So head to jointhedogs.com. All right, Kenny, didn't really get to talk to you too much after the loss to the Ravens. How do you feel coming off of that game heading into the home matchup against the Packers?
Obviously, when it first happened, I didn't feel great. Just the way that we lost, giving out 21 points and turnovers. It was tough. You got to count that block punt too as a turnover, and we do a lot of fourth and go for it on fourth and don't make it. So there's a lot of stuff that makes us lose games. But if you want to hang your head on anything, ultimately take a look at just what our defense can do for 3 quarters when they're not gassed. It was, even though it was kind of garbage time, good to see Quinshon rip off a 30. It was super awesome. And there's some really, really good things that to look forward to. It's just a matter of can we open up that kind of running game when it's not against second stringers? Can we get the running game open so we can blow the top off the defense? And that's what I'm kind of looking for. So yeah, I do find that I was kind of down in the dumps after last game, especially with what was on the line and what the other team was celebrating. But that being said, we're at home and it's any given Sunday, so I'm trying to look at the positivity right now.
Yeah. So our run game, it's interesting because, Quinshon Judkins, obviously, with only, 1 or 2 padded practices ever in his NFL career so far, comes out and he's clearly the best running back we have as far as getting north and south, putting his foot in the ground and just making a cut, seeing the opening and going. The problem is our line is just not creating very many openings for these guys in the backfield. And, minus that 31-yard ripoff that he had at the end of the game, he was only 3.6 a carry. It was not great for him either. And I don't think that's on him. That is on our O-line. We saw, I think, Joel Bitonio today has a back injury that he has not practiced the last 2 days. He thinks he's going to be okay for Sunday, but it's just worth mentioning that he's dealing with an injury. Jack Conklin, I saw some videos of him from practice today. It does not look like he can play. He just didn't look healthy on the field. We'll see if he can get out there after missing last week. DeJuan Jones in and out of the lineup because of the heat. And then I saw Tony Grossi said something about talking to DeJuan Jones after the game in the locker room, and he told him it was the coach's decision. So I'm not really sure what was going on with DeJuan Jones, if he was just playing that badly that they wanted to get him in and out of the lineup, or if it really was heat related. I'm not real sure. Wyatt Teller had a rough game. There were some video clips if you guys have browsed X in the last few days. He didn't look great overall. Posick, I've been seeing people say, is it time to bench him and just see what Whippler has? It's rough. It's rough in the trenches on the O-line for the Browns.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I heard from Joe Thomas that the heat exhaustion, and he just wasn't coming out of the cramping. So there's no point in playing him then,
Right.
based on what I heard. And then as far as you even have to look at Zach Sinner. The guy can't even scratch the game day lineup, and you want him in the game, and I'm like, ugh. So I'm not feeling too comfortable right there as far as the O-line's concerned, but we got to suit up on Sunday, so we got to see what these guys have, and we want to win. We're eight in the hole as far as going into last year on a losing streak, and how much more can Browns fans take? So.
Yeah, it's probably not much. I wonder how long it'll take before the boos come out and rain down heavy in Huntington Bank Field on Sunday. But on the other side of the line, if we want to go on a more positive note with the defensive line, first of all, this is going to be a fun battle if you want to watch pass rushers just in general, because you got Myles Garrett on one side and Micah Parsons on the other. I read that this was the first week that Micah Parsons is not on the Packers injury report, so good luck to Juan Jones and Cornelius Lucas and whoever else is in there at tackle this week. But Myles Garrett leading the NFL right now with 3.5 sacks. Micah's got 1.5, and Myles is also leading the NFL with 6 tackles for loss. He's come out the gate this season, weeks 1 and 2. I don't know what more he can do. I don't know what more people want from Myles Garrett if they do want more, because he is playing like the best. You can argue if there's another position, a cornerback or something might be a better defensive player overall, but he is the best pass rusher right now. He is just solidifying that.
Just one of the best players in the league right now at any position. Just the way that he's getting after it. He is on and in every single play. We did dog him for kind of, loafing on a couple plays in previous years, but that is definitely not the case. He looks like he wants to win. I don't know what his pressure rate. It must be insane right now, but he's amazing.
Yeah, he definitely is. Hey, guys down in the audience, if anybody wants to come up and talk, just go ahead and get your hand up. We'll bring you up here. I guess another point to talk about too, Denzel Ward, I saw he was practicing in full after missing, being in and out of the lineup. And then he missed did he miss the entire fourth quarter, or was it more on Sunday with cramping? I think it was. And he's still dealing with the shoulder injury from camp.
Know where he was at, but definitely we got burnt and exposed with Harden and Cameron Mitchell. They just did not look good. They got taken in the woodshed, like Blake says. So especially by guys that we've never even heard of before. So that was tough. So hopefully the Warden can get up and ready to go, and we definitely need him for this week. Good thing they're down their main weapon, but those guys, man, they are unreal in the red zone. I think had 9 trips so far. They're probably going to get some on us. We are playing on defense. It always kind of gives us a chance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So on defense, as of right now, heading into week 3, obviously it's only been 2 weeks, but the Browns defense is the number 1 defense in the league, allowing the fewest yards per game, 191.5. That's it. Under 200 yards per game is what we're allowing. And we faced, it's not like we played, Cam Ward in his first game and Bryce Young or whatever. We played Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, 2 MVP, candidates each year, it seems like. And, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. And that's it. 191.5 a game. That's pretty impressive. The Packers defense then is number 3 in the league, allowing 238 yards per game. So it's a number 1 defense versus the number 3 defense. I don't think it's going to be a super high scoring game, maybe on either side, unless, we start gifting them multiple touchdowns on the offense and just saying, hey, here's a turnover. Why don't you just take it back? Which, hey, we've seen it happen. It could happen again.
The teams that we're talking about, to get back to our offense, we're really kicking our lunch pail about our offense, but we've outgained both teams combined.
Yes.
And so there's stuff to be, hang our hat on. It's just the turnovers. Oh man, they're so frustrating.
Yeah.
And we didn't really see what Flacco was doing last week, fumble for a touchdown and a really interception, a rookie style interception. So he's getting frustrated. They got to calm down. They got to hold on the ball, and maybe we have a chance with this defense that we have.
I hope so. Andrew Jackson, you are up here with us, man. What's going on?
Not much, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
So, kind of piggyback a little bit off some of what you said. I mean, I guess the bright spot is our linebackers are looking pretty fantastic. Carson Schlesinger looking pretty good. Got that good news potentially from JOK. I guess, potentially next year looking like a potential return. Kind of gives you some hope for those for that potential crew right there. And the defense looking, overall looking pretty well, minus the terrible busts, I think is what the commentators kept calling them Sunday with Cam Mitchell and Harden there. But overall, I guess can't be too disappointed with how the defense has played. But my biggest thing with this being a home game and after last week, how long do you think before the boos and the calls come down from the fans on Sunday to pull Joe and play one of the other rookie quarterbacks?
I would say the first 3 and out.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You just stole the words right out of my mouth, man.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I did.
So do you?
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
Do you think after really watching the first 2 games, kind of looking into it, I mean, do you think it's more of the offensive struggles? It's more of the offensive line not doing what they need to give either Joe Flacco time, or is it really just the receivers just aren't that great? I mean, they're mediocre at best. We know that, but you think, who do you attribute more of the offensive struggles to at this point in time?
I think receivers didn't separate, and then they're even with all the pressure that the Ravens were giving them. I think the routes were just too long, and you'll see a lot if you watch the tape. I don't think the routes were that long for a receiver per se, but for the time that Joe was getting in that game, I think it was too short. So they were just not it's like Kevin says, they need to coach better. The receivers need to get separation, and the O-line needs to give them more time. It's a combination of everything.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if everybody needs to coach better every week, I don't know. Anyway, going to the offensive thing, I mean, it's a cop-out answer to say it's a combination of everything, but I think it is. I think the offensive line is just not doing enough. And now I haven't sat down and watched the All-22. I've kind of browsed through what other people who have watched it have said and highlighted and pointed out online and things like that. And it looks like some of these route designs, I don't know if the receivers just aren't running them correctly or what's going on. There's guys that are just too close to each other in the same area where they shouldn't be, and they're not getting the separation that they need, at least not consistently. And for whatever reason, just this offense is not working. It's not clicking. It's not moving. It's not what we expected to see coming out of 2023 with Joe Flacco leading this offense, thinking we were going to get more of the same. I did want to real quick go back to what Andrew said at the beginning about JOK. For anybody who missed it, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Browns linebacker who missed the entire season this year because of the neck injury from Derrick Henry in week 8 of last year, he did post a message on TikTok, and it said, quote, "Long ago, the people watched a star. One night, the star seemed to have vanished from the sky. So night after night, they looked, wondering if its light had died forever. What they did not know was that the star had not ended. It was preparing for a transformation. When it returned, it did not shine the same. It blazed with a radiance that marked the heavens. So too are some men who are out when the season begins. Their light is not lost. It is only preparing to burn brighter when his appointed time comes." So, with everybody, and we've been saying it too, JOK likely done for his career, just doesn't seem good with this neck injury. That was super positive. I mean, for him to come out and just say something like that was very profound, I felt, and encouraging that we might actually be able to see him back on the field for the Browns.
Get my hopes up on it. That's all. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed that, but I'm staying pretty low on that until it happens.
Yeah, for him, he seems like such a, I don't know how to say it. Like he's such a mature guy. He seems very grounded and, thoughtful in his actions and his words whenever he speaks, that, for him to actually go out and actively post something like this, I feel like there must be some sort of good news behind the scenes that maybe he received that he felt okay doing that and saying that. But again, don't get your hopes up and count on it. But at the same time, it is good to see. It made me feel good inside. We'll get Tony the Italian up here on stage.
If anything, it made us feel good this week. Something made us feel good, so it's good.
Right.
I agree with you 100% on that, Kenny. But at the same time, there was a very familiar injury in the AFC North, much like him, with a guy named Ryan Shazier. I know his was a little bit more significant because he was, partially paralyzed for a little bit. But, at some point in time, and I understand we all want JOK back, but I'd rather see that dude live a healthy life the rest of his life than kill himself on that football field, because no person deserves that. But if he can and he's healthy, great. Let's make it happen. But I just wanted to pop on real quick and talk about the Packers game and talk about that a little bit. So I'm sorry if I cut into some things with that. I just got to get back to work here soon. So I was going to say, with the Packers game coming up, I don't be surprised if it's a lot closer game than what the Baltimore game was. And I say that for a couple of reasons. I'm not going to say that we're going to win. At this point in time, I'm going to every single game to see, okay, what can Junkins do, Sampson, Fannin, and then what other bright spots with some of these younger guys, like Isaiah McGuire. He made a couple plays last week at Baltimore. Even the older guy, Cam Thomas, I know he's been in a few years of league. He even looks like a kind of brighter spot on the defensive line, so that's me excited. But that's how I'm looking at the rest of the season. But don't be surprised if this game's a lot closer. I think Cleveland has a chance where they could win for the fact of, Green Bay, Reed's completely out for this, out for this game. Marcus Golden, their first round wide receiver, hasn't really done much, and I'm not going to say he hasn't looked great for them, but it doesn't seem like he's been able to get in that passing game with Jordan Love. And if we could do anything to stop Josh Jacobs and their second string running back like we did with Derrick Henry, I wouldn't be surprised if this game came down to, and I hate saying this, but an Austin Smith's, either making a field goal or making all his extra points in order to win this game. Because I don't think the Green Bay's offense is high powered as long as you can, make a couple key stops and the offense can at least get in the end zone or just chew up the clock driving down the field. I think there's a good chance that we could come out of this a lot closer than what that Baltimore game was. Well,
like Blake said too, after the game on Sunday, the Baltimore game was close going into the fourth quarter. Into the fourth quarter, it was 20-10. We just couldn't score. Our defense was doing a great job. I mean, I got some other stats here to go through that kind of talks about what you're saying here. The difference between the number 1 defense and the Browns, the number 3 defense with the Packers, is the points per game. The Packers have held their 2 opponents, which, by the way, are the Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders, to 15.5 points per game. The Lions just turned around and dropped 52 last week. I think it was, right? Wasn't it 52?
It was something like that. They made Chicago very sad.
So the
over
Packers,
50, it doesn't count after that, right? So it doesn't matter how many after 50.
The Packers defense is legit. And so is the Browns, but the Browns as a team, and that's why I don't want to just say it's the Browns defense, because we're averaging 29 points per game given up, but it's not the defense. I mean, the team as a whole is doing that, because we gave up 41 to the Ravens. That inflates that 29, but the offense, special teams were largely responsible for 21 of those 41 points, not directly, but they turned the ball over to a point where it was pretty easy for Baltimore to get a score. All of those turnovers led to 7 points. So we held the Bengals to just 17, which is great. And, I do think that if we can not turn the ball over on offense, the score could be pretty low for them as well. This episode is sponsored by Manly Bands. Browns fans, it's time to kick off the NFL season, and it's also time for you to kick off your wedding band game. Head to manlybands.com right now for their fall wedding sale. Get 30% off site-wide, plus use promo code CAMP25, CAMP25, to get an extra $25 off your order. Manly Bands has the most unique, handcrafted wedding bands for men, and they've got a huge selection, so many different styles, materials, and collections to choose from. Plus, they've got manly gifts for any situation you need, whether you're getting married and you need groomsmen gifts. They've got barware, they've got chains, bracelets, they've got gifts for retirement, and they've got your everyday stuff like lighters and coffee mugs. They've even got ear pods and some pretty cool t-shirts as well. So dive into football season this fall. Head to manlybands.com, 30% off with the fall wedding sale, and get an extra $25 off your order with promo code CAMP25. That's manlybands.com/dogs. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Browns fans, if you're like me, the stresses in life only increase the older you get. Your family, your job, your bank account, just a few things that drive the cycle of stress every day. And if you have people constantly depending on you, it can put a heavy weight on your mental health. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Why does no one appreciate everything I'm trying to do for them? If these thoughts have ever darkened your day, 1, you're not alone, and 2, I highly recommend talking to someone, and that's where BetterHelp could be the right resource for you. Head to BetterHelp, HELP.com/dogs, DAWGS for 10% off your first month of talk therapy. Just fill out a simple questionnaire and BetterHelp will match you with the best therapist for your needs. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time for no extra cost. BetterHelp is 100% online. You can talk with your therapist on the phone, via face chat, or even through text message. Your therapist will listen, ask questions, and help you see things from new perspectives. So what are you waiting for? Take the first step to making positive improvements in your life. Head to BetterHelp.com/dogs now for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/dogs for 10% off your first month.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I think the way they win the game, too, is much like the Cincinnati game, except we have Junkins now, is somehow you have to get Sampson and Junkins involved either in the run game or the pass game, because it seemed like when they were doing a lot of the check downs to Sampson and he was able to get 6-7 yards, it seemed like a couple plays later, it would open up some of the wide receivers down to the field because those linebackers had to worry about the running back coming out of that backfield, which you didn't see against Baltimore. So if you can see that against Green Bay and they get going against Green Bay, there's a really good chance they can score.
And I know a lot of people I was reading online that were really excited, like Jake Burns, from Browns Film Breakdown, guys who actually do the film study specifically. That's what they specialize in. They were pumped after week 1 because I think the Browns used motion, pre-snap motion, something like in the 70%. And that was, I think last year it was the lowest in the NFL, and 70% or whatever the actual number was like third most in the NFL in week 1. And then last week in Baltimore, it dropped clear down to like 30-something%. So I don't know what the difference is. If this pre-snap motion is working and helping the offense, I think we need to stick with it. And, I love Judkins, but I do think the run game is going to continue to struggle. So this could be a situation where running through the air might be the way to go. Get Sampson and Fannin, some of these guys, those shorter passes, the screen passes, and let them do their thing, because you're not going to have time to let downfield developing routes, take place against this Packers defensive front. I don't think so.
Yeah, and if you can get these like short yardage plays, and you can get these bigger running backs like Junkins, or you can get it out to the Harold Fannin Juniors, let's run into some of their DBs and wear them down and try something over the top. I'd like to see us, having our first drive of the game as a touchdown. We were awesome at that. 2 years ago, we'd always have the first touchdown of the game. Let's get ahead for once,
Yeah, that opening scripted drive has not been what it used to be. Brad's up here. Brad, what's going on, buddy?
What's up? I'm going to start with a little bit of sidebar Ian Swifty stuff.
Okay.
Unfortunately, former Browns quarterback Connor Shaw collapsed while coaching his 9-year-old son's football team. He was taken to Greenville Memorial Hospital and is in the ICU currently.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, man.
Bring us down, man. Well,
best wishes to that dude.
No kidding.
It just popped up on my feed, so I thought I'd share it. So.
Well, thoughts and prayers to Connor Shaw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where was he coaching? Was it somewhere like down south where the Heat? Was it a Heat thing?
Yeah, I assume Greenville, North Carolina.
If you said that, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just saw that just popped right up on my feed. Also, Guardians and Tigers are tied 1-1.
Cool.
If anybody cares. Pushing for that wild card spot.
Let's do it.
Doubt we'll get it, but we'll see. Justin's giving me faith, so I'm trying to stay with him.
Hey, the way things were going earlier in this season, just to even be in this situation, I never would have thought we'd be here.
Yeah. So as you guys know, I think I mentioned it. If you didn't see it, I will be at the game on Sunday. I have already cut holes out of a paper bag, so there's that. I'm just kidding. I actually just got today in the mail. I got my Carson Schlesinger jersey, so I can wear that on Sunday.
Beauty, man. He's a beast. Good selection, my friend.
Yeah, I was going back and forth on which rookie jersey I should get, and I was like, you know what? I haven't gone with the linebacker yet, so let's go with the linebacker.
Treat yourself to more than one, man.
Yeah. So as far as the game goes, I was listening to some guys on the radio today. They have on a guy that like takes like gives you like safe bets, I guess you could say, or whatever. But he's like a Las Vegas dude. I forgot his name, but he says with the Packers being down Jalen Reed, who's like their most complete wide receiver, it's going to be a little tough sledding for the Packers to score as much as they usually do. Not to say that they can't on us, because once our defense is exhausted, it's kind of like, here you go. Denzel Ward's on the sideline trying to get Ivy. Greg Newsom's just smoked and can't cover anybody, and Cam Mitchell gets burnt every other play. So, if we could keep this close, there is a chance, but Green Bay is a way better team than us. They're Super Bowl bound. They should be able to beat a team that is trying to kind of like rebuild themselves or repurpose this team. But I'm thinking, just as Tony said, it's going to be a rough tussle game, kind of like a 17-10 game or a 13-10 game, something low scoring, I think. And it might come down to a kick. And as we know, trusting our kicker in the last 10 years has been rough. So not to mention Schmidt right now. That's yeah. So I'm hoping for the best, though.
Well, real quick,
and I'm going to be excited to be at the game, and it's going to be fun. And I know Justin will be there, and I'm going to drink as much as I can to have fun.
Yes, enjoy yourself, man. Real quick, I see Blake jumped up on stage, so I want to hear from him real quick. But I just wanted to say, you talked about them being down Jaden Reed. They've still got guys like Romeo Dobbs. They've got Dontavian Wicks. They've got other receivers. They've also got Tucker Kraft, who's a beast. And remember, the Ravens torched our secondary once Denzel was out of there with guys like big names, household names like Devontae Walker and Tylan Wallace, guys that nobody even knew were in the league.
What?
Nobody even knew. We're good at that.
Yeah.
We're good at making second, third string guys look like all-stars.
Absolutely. Blake, what's up, man?
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. At any moment, somebody could walk into my office and I could get fired, so I'll have to be quick. I think some people on here are being extremely optimistic in this game. I'm not trying to jump on here and rain on your parade, but I think 10 points. I think we have I don't even know if we're going to get 10 yards.
I was
not long 10 points.
Thinking that too.
And maybe it's a close game for like a quarter or maybe a half, but I have a feeling this is going to go the way of the Ravens game, where the final score is going to be lopsided. I think I would be borderline shocked if they don't score twice off of turnovers. I'd be shocked if Parsons doesn't have like a strip sack. It's just, I watched this team play against the Lions in week 1 and make the Lions, the team that was, almost in the Super Bowl last year. They made that team look like us. So what are they going to do to us? It's going to be, I don't care that they don't have Jaden Reed. I feel like he's like a flash in the pan kind of guy for them anyways. They have plenty of weapons. Jordan Love is an athletic. Not only like can he throw, he's also mobile, which we can struggle with at times. It's just, I have almost no faith. We're not going to be able to run the ball. I have almost no faith we'll be able to run the ball. So Joe Flacco is going to have to throw 40 plus times again, which is just going to eat into the palm of the hands of their pass rush. To me, the Packers have been the best team in football by like a pretty wide margin, followed probably by like the Chargers. So, and we've been a pretty disappointing team thus far. I mean, I guess we're a couple drops and a missed field goal away from being 1-1, but I don't have high hopes for this game. So I didn't mean to jump on here and rain on anybody's parade, but it's just we're in such different places roster-wise right now. Like Brad said, they're primed to make their Super Bowl run, and we're in what we're hoping is like a soft retool. You know, so we're in completely different places.
For sure, man. I couldn't agree more. I mean, just our rushing game, our run game itself alone is worrisome. I mean, we're bottom 10 in the league. We're averaging just 82 yards a game in the run, our rushing attack. And that's against the Bengals, who do not have a good run game. And that's against the Ravens, whose run defense gave up a crap ton of yards, I think, to James Cook, wasn't it, in week 1?
That's correct.
It's not looking good. And, to talk about you said about 10 points, how are we getting 10 points? The only touchdown we scored last week outside of the garbage time Dylan Gabriel touchdown was a fluke. It was an interception that the guy just dropped out of his hands, and somehow Cedric Tillman caught it in the end zone. It was a touchdown. That's how we scored our one touchdown. We didn't go down the field and punch it in or anything. Like, we did not score last week. So, yeah, what are these guys going to do to us?
This game has the feel. Sorry, this game has the feel to me like, I think I mentioned this on our recap episode of when we used to play the Bears when they had Justin Fields, and they'd get to the end of the game, and once you tallied up the sacks and everything, Justin Fields had negative 6 yards passing for the game. That, to me, like, the writing is on the wall for us to have a negative yards passing game in this game.
It's going to be fun.
And we can. We don't block. We don't block really anybody. And then in the run game, and our wide receivers already lead the league in drop rate. So it's just like, we're just not that good on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Jerry Jeudy would be a wide receiver 2 on probably most teams. And on some teams, he'd be a wide receiver 3. Cedric Tillman's a 3 or a 4 on every other team in the league, most likely. And who else are we even trotting out there at wide receiver right now?
I mean, Thrash is running routes. Bond is out. Yeah, it's not good.
Thrash can't get on the field on our team. He's honestly God. He's probably a practice squad player for 31 other NFL teams. And we got this guy. We're trotting him out there, hoping he can make a difference for us. Like, if that doesn't tell you why we can't score points, I don't. You know what I mean? It's just this offense. The no first round picks for 3 years, and then there's even like a year or two in there where we didn't have a second round pick because we traded them away. You went from like feeling pretty good about your offensive side of the ball to you got real old, real slow, real bad very fast, and you didn't have any draft picks to recoup that. You had no money to recoup it, and now we're dealing with that right now because the cupboard is bare. We said that all offseason. We have the worst offensive skill group probably in the NFL. I don't even know if it's close.
It's definitely not high flying, but I mean, we like the pieces. We like Njoku. We love what Fannon's doing. We like Sampson. I mean, Judy's still a good receiver. They should be able to do more than just, 3 points against 3 legitimate points against the Ravens. That was just disgusting. The Packers, I was looking at the stats. They've got 0 turnovers on offense this season. They're a good freaking team. We've got 4, second most in the league. They're a +1 differential. We're -4 because we haven't forced any turnovers on defense. So for as good as our defense has played, we're not taking the ball away. And that sucks. We need that, especially if our offense isn't going to do anything. We need takeaways.
Oh, we haven't forced turnovers in a year and 2 games now.
Right.
You know what I mean? which is a huge. That year we made the playoffs that was a huge reason we were forcing so many turnovers. I pulled up a list of the teams in the NFL, and I'm looking at this, and just on a spot, there isn't a team. I don't think there's a team in this league that I would choose the Browns skill position guys over. I mean, the Bills, no. The Dolphins, no. The Patriots, maybe. Jets, no. Cowboys, no. Giants, no. Eagles, no. Commanders, no. Ravens, Bengals, Steelers. I mean, Steelers have DK. Bears, no. Lions, Packers, Vikings. I mean, you can go through this entire list of, if you go through all 32 teams in this league, you can maybe find one or two teams that you would even consider swapping skill position guys with. Other than that, that's how bad we are.
I see Ashton the Joker here in the chat says, I don't think the Packers wide receivers are that good. If we had their wide receiver core, we'd be complaining like crazy about them. They just have a better scheme. They don't have
Romeo
like
Dobbs
any.
would be the number one on our team easily.
Yes, but I don't know if that's so much speaking to his, complete skill set as it is our lack of talent. I see what he's saying. They don't have like their high flying, wide receiver 1, 2 locked in like some of these other teams do. But yeah, it's tough. I think it could be, like you said, maybe a close-ish game for a little bit, but I think it's gonna get out of hand pretty quick, and all the brown dude wipe jokes are gonna be coming out real fast.
Yeah, I mean, for an alpha dog game, you want to have one of your best games because you're an alpha dog, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case.
No, we got like one alpha dog on the team, I think.
But yeah, no kidding. I mean, the biggest thing is like with Blake's take on that is like, if you take a look at just their stats, I mean, they hold teams under 238 total yards a game. They're keeping guys under 33%. For third down conversions, so we don't excel at. We've got 8 sacks already. They might get 8 sacks in this game. It's gonna be a rough one.
Yeah,
Zagura on CBD constantly says
you're gonna have to repeat that. You're gonna have to repeat that. You cut out.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One thing, maybe a feather in our cap, is like a lot of guys are playing cover 1 and cover 6 against us, which is basically man, or there's a shell. We can't seem to beat that because we can't get separation. We can't run. They excel actually in cover 3 and cover 2, which should provide some separation for our receivers. That may keep it close. But again, like a lot of the stuff that I'm giving you guys is like, here's reasons why we may win. Blake is being just real. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing. Is like, I don't discount what he's saying whatsoever. I'm just hoping there is some kind of silver lining, just so I can even get some people in my chapter so we can watch together. You know what I mean?
Hey, I mean, all it takes is a missed tackle forced by Judkins for, a 75-yard touchdown run, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, the game has changed or something like that. Now, predicting those things or expecting them to happen, obviously that's why they're highlights, because you don't. But they can happen. Like Blake said, this is a team that if I had to place a bet right now on who's at least going to the Super Bowl from the NFC, I'd have to pick the Packers.
Weight loss solutions are not one size fits all. Hers makes it simpler to get started and stick with a weight loss plan, backed by expert-guided online care that puts your weight loss goals first. These include oral medication kits or compounded GLP-1 injections. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits start at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help through Hers. Get started at forhers.com/4u to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/4u, forhers.com/4u. Paid for by Hims and Hers Health. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply.
This episode is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. Your season, your shot. The NFL is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scores to anytime TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. And new customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly, plus score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BROWNS. That's code BROWNS to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Blake, do you have anything else? I mean, you can stay up here. I just wanted to see if anybody else wanted to jump up on stage here too.
No, go ahead. I mean, anybody else can come up and talk. I'll just kind of pitch in whenever I can.
All right. Well, we got Jim.
What did you guys think about having Bond return punts because Carter was concussed? You know, I thought that was a big sway in the game because I like the way Carter handled the game against the Bengals, but with our special teams, Bond just didn't look like he was ready last week, and I hope Carter's ready to go, but he's in concussion protocol, right?
Yes. And Justin texted us actually in the middle of the game, and he said, is it just me or does Bond look terrible returning punts?
He looked awful.
Is it just me, or can the Browns, for some reason, not figure, like, we just can't get a guy who can return punts and kicks?
Nope.
Like, you
know what we do, though, but they get injured or whatever.
DPJ, and he was awful. We got Carter, then he gets – how can we not find a guy who can just catch a punt and run it back? Like, what do we do?
Oh, hold on. You're breaking up real bad. Can you hear us still?
And he's in a bunker.
That got real metallic-y there real quick. Hey, Jim Jam, you're up here. What you got, man?
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So just a couple things. Wasn't sure if it was brought up. I just got off work 10 minutes ago and was able to join on my way home from work and got to clock in for dad duty.
Yep.
But the JOK post on TikTok has me very optimistic, not this year, but next year for a return for what would be a very awesome tag team duo of him and Carson Schlesinger. That is just a super bright future I'm looking forward to personally.
Yeah, we did actually talk about that.
The other thing was, sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
The other thing was, again, I don't know if it's been brought up yet or not, but I know the run defense has looked like pretty solid for us so far this year, but I just have a really bad feeling that Josh Jacobs is going to run all over us this game for 100 plus and a couple touchdowns.
So, Chase Brown, the first drive for the Bengals, he was finding running room. And then I think the rest of the game, maybe a little bit here and there, but for the most part, they clamped him down. Derrick Henry, we talked about on the preview show last week. The Browns just historically have done a pretty good job of shutting him down, and they did it again. Josh Jacobs is a very good running back, and we'll see how it goes. I think that there's always the potential that he could break some big runs and do some things, or they could just hand him the ball 25 times and let him chip away at us until we're dead.
Until we're gassed.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think our run defense has shown pretty well. What do you, Blake, Kenny, what do you guys think about that?
I think we got Schlesinger, man. He's the answer.
I kind of feel like I have Jacobs in fantasy, and I'm like, do I bench him this week? And it's one of those things where I feel like maybe we'll slow them down early, but as they wear us down and like it starts to become like, you know, they force a couple turnovers and it becomes a 2 and 3 score game late, then maybe he'll get chunks at the beginning. I do think we can keep him in check early. He's a different. We just have always done well against Derrick Henry, even when he was in Tennessee. I feel like we did well against him. We just have always done well against him for some reason. But Derrick Henry is a little bit different. He's a big back too, but you know, he's a little bit more elusive and stuff like that. I don't know. I think we can keep him in check early. But then I think he'll get like I don't want to call it garbage time touchdown, but I could see him scoring like when the game's kind of already out of reach and like really puts it out of reach. I think Jordan, if anything really scares me in this game, it's going to be Jordan Love's legs. I think like we can do a good job. I mean, we did a good job on Lamar, so maybe I shouldn't be worried, but Jordan's got like, it's like a slightly different game. He's obviously not quite the explosive athlete as Lamar, but he's kind of reminds me like those back-breaking runs, kind of like a Pat Mahomes, where you don't think of him as a pure runner, but he'll scramble for the first down on like 3rd and 7 to keep their drive going. So that's kind of like what's got me worried in this game. I think we can keep Jacobs in check at least for a while until, you know, like guys have said, we become gassed. They score a couple touchdowns. We turn the ball over, put the defense in a bad situation, and then maybe it's just kind of like he just starts to get going. But at least in the first half, I'm going to say we keep him in check.
Yeah, and you know, Jordan Love, like go
ahead.
When I've watched Packers games here, like last year and then even the 2 games this year, I've seen, obviously I haven't watched the entire games or anything, but Jordan Love kind of has this tendency to do what Lamar Jackson used to do, where you can at times bait him into a bad throw. And now he's a really good quarterback, but like all quarterbacks, he's going to have a couple throws here and there, but he can make some very, questionable throws into coverage sometimes at moments. And it's just a matter of, can we come down with them? We'll probably drop them if we get a pick, right in our hands, but it could be a game where you could see him throw an interception, especially with the pressure.
Right. Decent against us. He's averaged, overall he's got 46 yards for 181 yards, 46 carries for 181 yards. And he's got one game where he had also 42 yards passing against us in one of those 2. So, I mean, he looks like he's done okay against us.
Yeah. Does anybody in the audience want to come up before, because we're going to wrap this thing up here probably within the next 5-7 minutes or so. So if you want to come up here and talk about the game, talk about last week's game, questions about the Browns, whatever you want, just go ahead and put your hand up. And if not, we'll wrap it up. You guys, Kenny, Blake, anything else you wanted to talk about with this game?
Yeah, just to Blake's point, like with the returners, like they've tried to like shore this up, but you got to remember, like we had JoJo Natson, we had Grant. It was last name. Those guys kept blowing their ACLs like first game of the preseason. We just always seem to be scrambling to get a guy, even though we try to address it. So that position's been super frustrating since we lost Travis Benjamin.
Now we're going back in time.
Yeah, since Travis Benjamin, much except for one DPJ return touchdown.
Yeah. Blake, anything else?
Well, I was just gonna say, Josh, I saw you posted a video from your episode, and you had Kevin Stefanski with a picture next to Hugh Jackson, and that was diabolical. Hugh Jackson went 0-16 and 1-15 and 1-31 over 2 years, and you put Kevin Stefanski, 2-time Coach of the Year, been to the playoffs 40% of his starting seasons, next to this man. That you owe that man an apology.
Hey, you gotta drive engagement when you're doing social media, and that will do it.
I saw that.
That will take care of it.
That was diabolical.
To be fair, though, that's how people feel since he's 0-8 his last.
I did see a stat, though. I mean, to be fair, I'm not obviously saying that he is Hugh Jackson, because Hugh Jackson was a POS trash coach. 1-31, and I think I saw a stat. I think Tony Rizzo posted it. 6-28. 6-28 over the last, whatever that is, 34 games for Kevin.
That's rough. I think you could make the argument that it all really started to go downhill when we traded for a certain quarterback, and that quarterback forgot how to play football.
Well,
That pretty much set the franchise back years.
Yeah, I don't think that's an argument. I just think that's a fact. That is a fact. But
I just wonder. I was like, oh man, poor Kevin. Didn't compare to Steve Jackson on the Dogs podcast. This is crazy.
Yeah, I know. He's probably going to turn down my next request for him to be an appearance on here.
But that's all I got. I guess I should go back to work.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in, jumping up here on stage, hanging out with us for an hour here, talking about the upcoming game. You guys being diehard Browns fans keeps it interesting for us, obviously, because, after last year was just tough talking about the same thing week after week, how bad this team is. But at least we have some things to look forward to in the future. We've got young guys that are showing serious promise, and that's encouraging. And this defense is legit. So we'll see what happens on Sunday when the Packers come to Cleveland at 1:00. Again, if you guys want to be part of these Dog Pack Discord episodes, or you just want to be in the Discord with these guys, with the Dog Pack, with everybody talking about the Browns 24/7, it's jointhedogs.com. Become an official Dog Pack member. Just get in there. It's $5 a month. We say it all the time. Basically, it's like you're donating a cup of coffee to the show once a month. You don't even know it's gone, but it really does help us out and it gets you access to all the stuff that we do in the Dog Pack and all the people that are in there. So that's jointhedogs.com. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. We'll be back next week, 3:00, Dog Pack Discord, previewing the Lions game after we get done with this Packers game. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Devontae says, damn it. What's the matter, Devontae? You're saying damn it because you got in here late? Yes? Do you want to come up on stage real quick? I haven't ended anything yet.
Come on.
You can come up and talk for a little bit if you want to.
What the heck is happening?
There we go.
You guys hear me now?
Got you now, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, great. My fiance is going to be mad at me because I was on the phone with her and then came in this. And so, yeah. I just honestly, I didn't want to miss this. I haven't been able to give my update on the Browns. I want to cry sometimes when I watch the Browns because I feel like I'm a little kid again watching them have no offense. But I will say this. The Browns for years, if this was 10 years ago, we'd have a new head coach, new GM, new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, everything else. Yes, we can point and blame at Stefanski. Jim Schwartz is doing a good job. Bill Callahan is missed. I personally still don't know why the hell we have our wide receiver coach. He develops nobody. But I will say that this is the most steady I've seen the Browns organization as far as hiring and firing coaches. And more than anything, that's what makes a team. Now, Andrew Berry's track record, as we know with drafts, is horrible. But if he hits on this, in which I think Haslam is giving him another year here, honestly. If he hits on this drafts, these guys, which we think we did, and he hits next year, I think he's going to buy time. Kevin Stefanski, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen the offensive wizardry that he supposedly has. But I think overall, they wanted to give stability. And yes, we could point to Deshaun Watson injury, Nick Chubb injury, Odell situation, Baker injury. Yes, it has never worked out in his favor. But one thing that you do as a head coach is you adjust, adapt, and overcome. There's no reason why Zach Taylor sucks, depending on who you talk to as a Bengals fan, sucks as a head coach. But Browning could come in and just lead him down the field like nothing happens. We don't see that with Kevin. This year, I personally would rather see Dylan Gabriel or Shador out there. Next year, go get an offensive lineman in the draft. Go get a wide receiver who could take the top off the coverage. If you're going to use Bonds the right way. In speeds and the rounds, let him showcase his speed. And just play freaking football. Stop trying to be the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, so I get the whole Deshaun Watson held us back, trading 3 first-round picks, all that stuff. My question, though, is just how many years removed will it take to be out from, the quote, out from under the Deshaun Watson trade until we can say, okay, Kevin is a good coach, or okay, Kevin's not a good coach. Like, how many years is it fair to evaluate the offense? Because I feel like a lot of people right now will say, well, you can't evaluate this offense because we missed 3 years of first-round picks. Well, one, there's no guarantee we would have used those first-round picks on offensive studs or that they would have hit. And, so we struck out on Deshaun Watson. But like you said, these guys can bring in other coaches, other teams can bring in backup quarterbacks or whatever and still operate a functional offense. I'm not saying it has to be high-flying or high scoring, but functional. Move the ball down the field. I'm not saying every drive, but my goodness, this Browns offense can't do anything. And I think Joe Flacco is one of the better quarterbacks as far as like the average range. You get to this range of average QBs. Well, he's in that range to me. He should be able to do this. And Kevin, if he's a good offensive guru, genius, like everybody wants to label him, why aren't we seeing anything at all?
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by Butcher Box for Pets. Browns fans, we love our fellow dogs, our Dog Pack members, and the Dog Pound faithful, but let's not kid ourselves. The most important dogs in our lives are, well, our dogs. Your furry friends aren't just pets, they're part of the family. But the question is, what are you actually feeding them? Head to butcherbox4pets.com/products to see all the options for your dogs, including fresh and dry foods, treats, meal toppers, and even toys for your dog. If you're not sure what your dog will like best, try the Premium Nutrition Adult Starter Pack. And they even have a vacation bundle to take care of your four-legged friends while you're on vacation this summer. And right now you can get 20% off your order with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out. At ButcherBox, they believe in real ingredients. Their pet foods have been developed and certified by vet nutritionists to contain 0 artificial flavors or preservatives. You get protein-packed formula with over 50% of the recipe comprised of third-party certified humane ButcherBox meat, plus functional ingredients like pre- and postbiotics to support your dog's vitality and digestion. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line is your dogs are getting the nutrition and the value they need, and honestly, that they deserve. I know our home wouldn't be the same without Odie, our 100-pound golden retriever who thinks he's a 10-pound lap dog. He is not, but it gives us peace of mind knowing that we're giving him quality food instead of just that factory processed garbage from the store. And speaking of the store, no need to go. ButcherBox for Pets delivers their high-quality food right to your door. So head to butcherboxforpets.com/products and use promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 20% off your order. It's time for us dogs to give our dogs the nutrition they deserve.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy. Let's be honest. Loving your partner doesn't mean you always like them, and guess what? That's normal. Regain, powered by BetterHelp, offers couples therapy that's flexible, affordable, and 100% online. Whether you're reconnecting or working through conflict, Regain is here to support you both. See why people wish they'd tried couples therapy sooner. Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. That's regain.com/couplespod.
Running a business means checking a lot of boxes.
Let's see. Payroll? Check. Inventory? Check. Insurance?
Good thing Simply Business makes getting small business insurance fast and easy. Check insurance off your list at simplybusiness.com.